Good afternoon, everybody. Lisa Ware here, out to help you all a little bit more, I hope. And today I thought to myself, it might be useful to give you some tips on things that I actually do in the appointment, as well as the things I say, because little things sometimes make a big difference. And I've certainly learned that it's very, very useful to have certain things available to you. All right. So besides the obvious thing, which is like if you're going face to face, have your tablet pre-charged. I mean, that is just so basic. It's not true. But I tell you what, I've seen many a distributor panic at the last minute. So one of the things I always do is when I've just been on a face-to-face appointment, as soon as I come home, without fail, I never not do it. I straight away take the tablet out of my bag and I stick it on charge. And then it's ready for use for the next time. So what other kind of things are useful to do? Well, if you're on face-to-face appointments, which are so much better, I have to say, than ever a Zoom. Yes, I do Zoom appointments, but Zoom appointments by their very nature are never going to, we have a certain energy when we're with people, and I think they feel that energy. I always say it, I think they feel your authenticity, they feel your kindness. Okay, I don't know how this spiritual stuff works, I'm not that good at it, but I do know it makes a difference. And I know that when I leave an appointment, even if I've been with a complete stranger to start with, because I might have met them at a 20K event, but by the time I leave, an hour and a half or so later, they're usually hugging me and seeing me as a friend for life. Now that is actually what we're doing. We're actually in the business of building relationships. You may not thought you joined a business for that, but we really are, because actually what we want to do is have an affinity, an understanding, a kindness with people. Because if you're going to do a really good job, and maybe you've not even ever heard other partners or other leaders talking about this, but I think it's an essential ingredient. I think if you're a very authentic person and you genuinely are kind and you care, I think people know it. I think they absolutely know it. And actually what people then buy, excuse the expression buy, but they are buying you. Because at the moment you can show them all kinds of things. Has anyone here, like me, have you ever shown somebody loads of savings and then they've said, I want to think about it? Do you know what? I've had it loads. And you sometimes, you want to say, when they say, I want to think about it, you, in your heart, you're going, what with? But they do it, don't they? And actually, I always think when I hear that, what haven't they believed? Now, sometimes it's because the other person wasn't there. So the golden rule always is if two people make decisions in that household, you need both of them there, whether it's on a Zoom or in person. Because invariably, it doesn't matter what you do, you'll show them everything. They'll be ultra enthused, and then they'll come at the end and go, I better run it by my partner. Now, I showed a lady last Friday this whole opportunity. She was just so excited. And what she couldn't get hold of was the figures, because it was her other half that basically kind of looked after the bills. So we both agreed that what I would do, in amongst all my chaos of what happened at the weekend, that we would get back on Zoom at 5 o'clock in the evening, and we would go through stuff. Now I'm going to share this because we went through it with the real figures, and it turns out there was another £400 a year saving. And do you know what? She was more negative. No, she wasn't more. She was negative where she wasn't the day before. And basically, I said to her, and I learnt this from Steve Critchley, and please make a note of this. I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, I said, can you tell me, 1 being, get away from me, I'm not interested in this damn thing. And number 10, what are you messing around at? Sign me up. It's brilliant. I want the savings. Now I did this, and she sat there at the end of the screen looking at me like I was a mad woman. And she said, well, it's not about me. She said, it's about Joseph. That was her partner. And I said, is Joseph around? She said, yeah, he is, but he's dealing with the baby. I said, can he just come up and have a look at one of my bills on the screen? And she wouldn't. And actually what was really probably happening, but she didn't have the courage to say, and I understand it, is that he's negged her out. Mm. He didn't see it. She probably relayed it wrongly. And if he, and there's a lot of ego goes on with things, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to point this out. There's so much ego. In fact, everything that most people do is ego orientated. And possibly because she found it and he didn't, he feels usurped, especially as I've heard that he was the person that did the bills. So I've kind of said to myself, I'm not going to chase her. I'm going to leave that. And do you know what? Move on. Next. That's what we say. Move on next. Mm. So I'm giving you those pointers of things like make sure both people are there. Now, wherever I possibly can, I try to do face-to-face. Now, I couldn't do it with this lady because she was up in Yorkshire. Okay, it was an impossibility. Couldn't do it. I am not driving to Yorkshire for a face-to-face appointment. The old days have gone when we used to be manic and we would drive 2 hours and such like to go and do that stuff. But when I can do face-to-face, there are certain things I have in my basket, as I call it. So first of all, it's very much a charged tablet, one that works well. Things I have available to me, I have pre-ready Trustpilot, all about broadband. I'm going to share my screen and show you guys what I'm on about. Just bear with me. At the moment, yes, you are seeing a blank screen, don't worry. But I want you to see, because normally there is like the presentation that's gone on. But I want you to see here. So I have a bill, my latest bill. Okay. I have a bill from a couple of months back because it's pre the government £66 support scheme thing they're doing. All right. But then I've got PlusNet, Pullman's BT, all about broadband. I've got Vodafone, EE, Sky, Virgin. More expensive than Pullman's BT itself, and actually the reviews get worse. And by the way, you don't actually have to point this out too much. They can see it for themselves. And one of the things that happens when they see this is they're looking out for their own. And then I say to them, and note the words, in complete contrast, look at Utility Warehouse. 27,000 plus reviews. And astonishingly, in complete contrast, 67% have said they give it 5 stars. So it means that independently of me, I can be so confident as a partner that what I'm showing you is really good. Now, I do personally use it, and you can't get anything more preferable to vouching for something than using it yourself. But there you are. Now, that's a useful item to have a couple of bills up and to have stuff like that. I think that's, and I have that on my tablet as well when I see someone. And what else do I have? Let's see if I can bring it into the fold. Okay, I think it might be a new share. I have a very useful item. So it's, I'm trying to move this out of the way. I've lost it. You don't have to be clever to do this. Guys, are you seeing which broadband?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. This is an item, if you haven't got it, then I can happily send it to you. But you know, there's a lot of what I call marketing propaganda, especially by Virgin. If you ever have seen their adverts, they help people believe you need a minimum of 200 megabits per second to actually do anything. That's not true. All of you lovely people know that where we've chosen to live, because it's gorgeous, and we're 1.5 miles from the cabinet, I receive here 11 megabits as an average. Now, actually, a little earlier on, I tested it and I was like, oh, whoopee-doo. It went up to 14 today. But I run Zooms with lots of people, and I do, you know, I do appointments, and we've got about 5,000 internet TV based channels, and everything works. And when my grandsons come with their gaming stuff, you know, ping evidently is what the tech team tell me it's all about, to play games. Quick ping, and our ping evidently is good. Now, I always say it like that to folk because I haven't got a clue about ping. I've never played a game in all my life, but that's what they tell me. And I explain to them, look, you see here, 20 to 50. Now, our broadband ultra is on average 32. You can do everything with that. It says here, a large family of online together, all on together, multi-gaming video calls. And it's also adequate for most medium-sized businesses, 5 to 20 staff. But Virgin would tell you, no, you need 200 megabits. Well, actually, this is good stuff for people to see. Would you say that that was a handy thing to have in your armory? Yeah, okay. This is the sort of things that I have available. Okay, so what else? Now, there's little things that I actually physically have with me on a face-to-face. So if I said to you a mobile phone tool, do you all know what I'm on about? One of those little things that you can open the SIM tray. And I'll tell you what, very useful. And I'll tell you why. Because there are various ways to check that a handset is unlocked. And I'm about to tell you that now. All right, so you ask somebody to go to their telephone keypad and they dial *#06#. Now, if more than one IMEI number shows on their screen, it means it's unlocked. And in fact, most iPhones from iPhone 8 are pretty much unlocked. But if you really wanted to be sure, there's such a simple way, and of course you can only do this when you're face-to-face. You get them to take their SIM card out and you put yours in. And then all you do is wait to see the signal bars and saying UW, and hey, you know that the handset's unlocked for any network. So a useful item to have. Okay, so there's all about unlocking. Now, what about the other things we need to do? Well, if we're going to be a really good partner and we're going to have long-term customers, what we want to do is we don't want to be nipping in and out and signing them up for gas and electric only. Because I promise you, the next time that Martin Lewis spouts that, oh, switch, yeah, time to switch, or, oh, quick, take yourself a fixed tariff. Oh, no, I've changed my mind. He says, no, now you've got to switch again. Now, every time he does this, he has about 12 million followers. And these people actually take his word for it. So if you sign up gas and electric only, do you know what? Invariably, they're going to go. Okay. So what we're after are double gold customers, whether that's tenants or homeowners, preferably homeowners, because they're used to paying bills and everything. And so we want to offer them more. Now, one of the things we do is we do what we call partner 6-star customer service. Yeah, UW does 5-star, we do 6. Now, this is what I've coached for years, and it stood me in good stead because I've still got customers for 19 years. And one of the things I do is talk them through receiving a PAC code, Port Authorization Code. And this is vital. This is for them to retain all their data and photographs and everything, as well as their mobile number. However, one never ever gives a PAC code, okay, ever picks a pack code or gives it to UW until you're sure the handset is unlocked. That's absolutely a fundamental. But I'm going to share with you something. And again, if you haven't got this, I'm happy to send it out. Let me just find what I'm looking for. Not that. It's in the same thing. Here we go. Okay. You can now see something quite handy. Just move this out of the way. Can I make it bigger? Yes. Aha. Okay. Right. The various providers, and what you get them to do is they go to text messaging, not Facebook Messenger, no other type of text, ordinary text.
Lisa,
And,
we can see the broadband speed at the minute.
oh, are you? Is it not
Yeah.
shown?
No.
Thank you for that. Can you now see it? Does it come in? No? Let's try that.
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you. Bless you. Thank you. Right. So this is all the various providers. Okay. And they go to text messaging and they bring up a new recipient. Okay. As if they're going to send a message to a brand new recipient. And in they type 265075. And then in the body of the text, okay, they type the word in capitals, Papa Alpha Charlie. Now I will just say this, please don't type Papa Alpha Charlie, PAC I mean. I actually, this is absolutely true. Come on, I'm going to give you a laugh, ladies and gentlemen. I did actually say that once to an Irishman, and that's what he typed in, Papa Alpha Charlie. Absolutely true. Down the road in Ferndown. There you go. I meet them all just like you. But we're on about the word pack. Now, to BTEE Gift Gap ID O2 Talk and Tesco's, nothing but the word pack and press send. And then almost within a flash, what will come back is a PAC code. So for example, if it was EE, it's ONE, Oscar November Echo, and 6 digits. Whatever it is, it's 6 digits. I seem to be having a run of Tesco at the moment, and that's TSC, okay? And it comes back, and it also tells them if there's any outstanding balance that needs to be paid off, which we know is an early termination fee. And of course, if they've got 3 services, right, that's fabulous, because that means £200 is available to them in addition to November £200 boost. Now, if it's 3, it's the word PAC plus day, month, year. Now, I will point out, without the slashes, all right, just so you know, no slashes. Virgin is the same. Sadly, Vodafone, ladies and gentlemen, is different. Vodafone asks for Papa Alpha Charlie, and then they want a PIN, a 4-digit PIN. Now, I'm going to say this because I constantly meet people that don't know their PIN, which I find quite fascinating, all right? Because I think that's just, I want it smaller than that. Right, at the bottom here, I don't know if anyone can see, but I am going to send this to you guys. If they don't know their PIN, there is a way they can change their PIN. And it's on this website, /Vodafone.co.uk//how-do-pin-my-pin.htm. Now, I didn't expect you to write that down. What I will do is I will send this out to you, all right? But it's very useful because Vodafone I swear, do this on purpose to track them. All right, just going to stop the share a minute. They seem to do it religiously. And so many people say, no, I don't know my PIN. Oh, I've never had a PIN. They might have had a PIN, but perhaps they didn't realise the importance of it. There is another time that we cannot get their pack code. And that's if they have more than one device with that current network provider. If there's more than one device, they have to ring up, usually from their phones, from Vodafone handsets, I think it's 191, and the rest of them, it's usually 150. But here's a good thing, folk, to say to you. Please say to them, now look, they want you to ring up because now you are going to be the most preferred customer that you've ever been before. They're going to offer you everything they've never offered you before because they want to retain you. But do you really want to show loyalty to a company that only gives you value when you threaten to leave? Is that actually a company that you'd want to be associated with? I always just throw it out there. And then I say to them, the best thing you could do is say this. Well, I'm going to a company where all my bills are going to be in one place, which makes it nice and easy. And my everyday spending on my cashback card is actually going to eliminate the cost, the monthly cost of my phone. So I'm ever so sorry, no matter what you offer me, unless you can give it to me for free, you can't help me. A great way of putting it. Another thing you can say is, well, okay, whatever you offer me, you've clearly been overcharging me for how long? Can we backdate this for 2 years, please? This new price you're going to give me. And of course they won't. All right. So there's lots of things that is important to do. Okay. What else? Another thing that's useful to have in your bag is, I hope I described this okay. You know, a SIM card is triple cut. Yeah. Well, modern phones have what we call nano SIMs. And they are the tiniest little bit that just surrounds the chip. Then you get like a micro SIM, which is the next layer. And then you get the good old fashioned SIM, which is the big bar. Now, I suggest you keep some of those outers because you never know when you come across somebody that actually needs an outer or something like that. And in fact, that has just happened. That's happened for my dear dad, who, no matter how much we've tried with the Samsung Galaxy A13, he can't hear anybody at the end of the phone. And we've now purchased him a German phone that's gone back 20 years, and he's had to have a big SIM card in it, but it's 8 times louder than a normal handset. And hey ho, wonders will never cease. Dad can now hear. He can now make and receive calls, which is absolutely essential because my dear mum, as I've said, is in hospital at the moment from having a heart attack. So it's all been very, very fraught. But there was a little something, because I kept those, I was able to be of use. So that's another thing to have. Right. What else is important to do? Well, you can't do this, unfortunately, if you're at the end of the Zoom. But when you're with somebody and you're signing them up, I do it as a matter of course. And I know there are people on here like Kevin and Annette that will absolutely know that they do this every time too. I ask to see their meters, their energy meters, gas, electric, and I naturally take a photograph of the meter, not for the reading, although the reading helps because now there's only 5 days to switch and sometimes it's switching in 3, but for the simple reason that sometimes mess ups happen on the databases. I know Annette's nodding like crazy. Now, I'm going to say to you, when I go to a block of flats, without fail, I take photographs because I can promise you some of the mess ups are just unbelievable. And you have just saved yourself a whole host of effort by doing so. All right, because you've got all the details. Now, if you get from our data center, they cannot locate the meter, excuse me. Can't believe this. That was Stuart Edmonston. Fascinating, isn't it? Yeah, if they can't locate the meter, by you having a photograph is wonderful. If it's a nice clear image, it has the meter serial number. And with that, they can locate it on the national database. And you've just saved a whole load of time and effort, which is brilliant. Okay. What else? I have on my phone something called, please write this down, Wi-Fi Analyzer. ANALYSER. It's an app, it's free. And when I go into somebody's house, when they tell me that they've got super duper broadband, I can go on it, have a quick look, and their network will come up and it will tell me the true speeds they're getting. You don't actually have to do a speed test. It's there. It's easy to see. Because I get people say, oh, well, I'm with Virgin and I'm getting 125 megabits a second and you can't compete with that. And I'm going to tell you that the number of times I've gone into someone's home and they have got no such thing going on. It's there on my Wi-Fi analyzer and I can show them and they can see for themselves. Now, that's not to be objectionable or confrontational, but to show them that some of these companies don't always provide what they say they should. And it also means that we've got more clout to be able to say, well, look, I mean, I personally can say this because I've got a history of, I don't know how many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds I've done, that in reality, I know that when they've switched over to us, they've actually experienced a better broadband experience because our router is so damn good. There's other things too that can help. I signed up a lady yesterday and she admitted to me that she's got a router right next to her TV. Never should be. These routers should never be next to electrical devices, certainly not TVs. That would cause all kinds of interference on the Wi-Fi. And the tech team would support that. Other things that you can say to them, this is stuff that helps them have confidence that when they switch over, it is these days, to be honest, it's a router. I'm going to call it holes. I know they call them connections, okay? And it is quite obvious which one goes into which, because you can't put the power one into the wrong shape hole, yeah? I'm being basic here, but... So they do switch over, but in the first 2 weeks, the tech team tell us there is a fluctuation in broadband. It always, and what they're doing is waiting for it to settle at the highest level speed, which means that they get consistency. One of the other things to do is to say to your customers, especially if they're at a distance, look, once the broadband switches over, ring customer services 0333 777 0777, ask for broadband tech, speak to someone, tell them you've just signed up and ask them, is there any way at all that they can see that their Wi-Fi channel could be conflicting with a neighbour's channel? Because that causes the whirligig and dropout. You know the technical term for whirligig, don't you? On the TV, yeah. And that causes dropout. So these are all little things that make us rather special. We're special people. We're offering incredible customer service and we're actually available. But what you mustn't do is allow people to think that they can start contacting you at 5:30 in the morning. Yes, I've had them. That's why I've said it. I've had somebody send me a WhatsApp at 5:30 in the morning. Interesting, isn't it? I think what it is these days, people think they can kind of contact you at any time of night or day, believing that it's okay that you'll pick it up at some point. What they don't realize is when they do that, they send you into a spin, and you're believing you should get on and deal with it as fast as possible. Actually, in reality, that's not real. So I tell everyone, I'm just sharing this with you, I say to them, my hours are almost identical to head office. They're 9 o'clock till 5:30. And on Saturdays, yes, I do a bit on Saturday. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this kind of stuff is helping you, all right? Because what we're doing is setting the scene, and we're offering an incredible customer service experience. And we're going more than, all right? One of the other things too, when you've signed them up, without fail, put it in your notes as a to-do, instantly ask them to go to either the App Store for iPhone or the Play Store for an Android phone and download the UW app. Now, please make sure they do the right one. There is a little bit of confusion because the one they want as a customer is the purple tile with the pink UW writing, and it says business, which kind of throws people off. What they don't want is the partner one, which is dark blue. All right, so you want them to have the app immediately on the phone and say that if there's someone else in the household that's also access, they want the app too, because as the services transfer over, everything comes up on that screen, which is absolutely fabulous. And also, while you're there, you can show them, see, there's another reason to be there. You can show them your phone with your app and show them how brilliant it is. Now, where we live, we can't have a smart meter. Evidently, we're in a sleeping region. That's what they call it. So on the last day of the month, I give a meter reading and I show them how simple it is. I let them see. I show them how amazing the cashback tab is and the way all the different things. Here we are, things to do. Show them the transactions, how the cashback is instant. It's showing them what they can earn. Scroll it down, show them the little cog in the top right-hand corner that they can set up an auto feed rather than having to remember to top up. And I show them that I've got one that is when my balance hits 100 or below, that as soon as that does, I've instructed my Halifax through the app that I've got 700 going over. It means, to be honest, it allows for the usage in the month. So whatever. What they don't want to do is be using the cashback card, adding a tenner here, adding 15 quid there. That is not the way it's to be used. And you really need to explain that. Otherwise, they're going to incur 35p top-ups because you get 5 in the month for free. And you know, if they're using it like that, it's not really meant to be like that. So how do I say to folk the best way to do it? I say to them, look, your current bank account where you pay your bills, the water, the council tax and everything, that carries on as normal. Nothing changes because that's where your direct debit for your utility warehouse bill is going to come out of as well. But now everything else where you spend money, no matter where, move that over into the cashback card account, because this is going to give you free money, which the other account isn't. It's free. And as my accountant says, Lisa, do you know what? You get about £600 back a year. That money you don't pay tax and insurance on to the government. It's worth 30% more. That's like having £900 free. And I say to them, imagine £900, someone giving that to you. Would you honestly turn it away when it's free? And if they say, but how much do you pay a month for that? I said, well, I showed you on my bill, £2. Do you think I care about £24 a year to get back £600? No. Because sometimes you have to help people think bigger. I'm afraid people don't think bigger. They're often very small-minded and they look at all the tiny things. Oh, talk. I've got a special deal. I'm paying £20 a month for my phone and broadband. And with us, we're £21.60. You can't believe that they would look at that and go, oh, £1.60 a month more, but they do. But then when you show them the bigger picture of the meal deal on all the services, plus cashback, plus this month the £200 boost, plus maybe £50 for getting smart meters in, maybe if they've taken 4 services, another 50 quid. Do you know what? I'm sorry. This is a no-brainer. So these are all ways that I show people how to make life better by coming into this incredible discount club. It's more than just about services. It's an experience. It's not just about value. It's about simplicity. It's about that there are people to hand that you can speak to. I think that stuff is priceless. That's what my customers think is absolutely priceless. So please don't sell always on price, all right? That doesn't work. It never will do. I mean, to be honest with you, occasionally I do go to Aldi's. Is it Aldi? No, Lidl's. Sorry, we go to Lidl's in Blandford. Jolly good bargains, love it. But I've realised you need to get there first thing in the morning if you're after organic vegetables, which I would be. And there's some super deals. And they do loss leader deals. But is the experience exciting to me? Well, they haven't got a beautiful fresh fish counter where I can choose my organic salmon fillets, which I know are damned expensive, but I don't choose at a price. I choose for quality. I choose for experience and service. So sometimes I think you have to say to people, I bet you don't always choose the cheapest on everything. I don't believe people do. And maybe that's something that needs to go in. So ladies and gentlemen, there is tons of stuff there. Could you privately WhatsApp me if you want those items, because I'll send them to you. All right. And I'll be back next week, same time, same place. We've run over. Lovely to see you all. Take care. Oh, thank you for the heart, Tom.
Bye.
Bye.